Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonso. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at the 7 sages of ancient Greece. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Moving right along, mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Who were the 7 sages of ancient Greece? Are they relevant in today's world? And why only 7? The 7 sages, or the 7 wise men as they are also known, was the title given by classical Greek tradition to 7 philosophers, statesmen, and lawgivers in the 7th through the 6th century before the Common Era. Why were they honored with such a title? Put simply, they were renowned for their wisdom. The oldest explicit mention on record of a standard list of 7 sages is in Plato's Protagoras. Diogenes Laertius reported that there were 7 individuals who were held in high esteem for their wisdom well before Plato's time. According to Demetrius Phalereus, it was during the archonship, or the time in public office of Damasius, which was 582 before the Common Era, that the first 7 became known as the wise men, with Thales being the first to be acknowledged. However, according to other ancient writers, they made the claim that the 7 were neither wise men or philosophers. They saw them merely as shrewd men who had studied legislation. Who then were the 7 sages of ancient Greece? As previously mentioned, Thales was the first to be acknowledged. Thales was from Miletus. He was renowned as a philosopher, mathematician, and astronomer. His advice was, "Know thyself," which is engraved in the front facade of the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. Many, most notably Aristotle, regarded him as the first philosopher in the Greek tradition. Since he also engaged in the study of scientific philosophy, he was acknowledged by the ancients as the forerunner in this field. Next to Pittacus from Lesbos, he tried to reduce the power of the nobility, and he was able to govern with the support of the demos, who were the ordinary citizens whom he favored. He also stressed to all that forgiveness is better than revenge. The Suda, a 10th century Byzantine encyclopedia, makes claim that Pittacus wrote a prose work about laws and also an elegiac poem of 600 lines. Unfortunately, no trace of these works has survived. Bias of Priene, who was renowned for his probity, was a politician and legislator of the 6th century before the Common Era. One story that was said to typify him was that he paid the ransom for some women who had been taken prisoners. After educating them as his own daughters, he sent them back to their homeland in Messina and to their fathers. While on Ionia, he focused on his writings and how to bring prosperity to the island. He believed that it was essential to choose the course which you adopt with deliberation. When you have adopted it, then preserve in it with firmness. Solon was the famous legislator and reformer who was from Athens. It was he who framed the laws that shaped Athenian democracy. Generally, Solon's reforms appear to have been constitutional, economic, and moral in their scope. In terms of morality, Solon established publicly funded brothels in Athens. It was his belief that this was the way to democratize the availability of sexual pleasure and, of course, tax the world's oldest profession. He is primarily remembered particularly for his efforts to legislate against political, economic, and moral decline in archaic Athens. The 5th sage was a king by the name of Cleobulus. He ruled over the city of Lindos on Rhodes. His kingdom was said to have been a place of democratic refuge from tyranny. According to ancient scholars, it was believed that Cleobulus studied philosophy in Egypt. He lived to an age of 70 and was admired for both his strength and goodness. Next we have sage number 6, who was known as Periander of Corinth. As king, he reigned over the Cypselid dynasty that ruled over ancient Corinth. It was believed that under Periander's fair and just reign, he brought great prosperity to Corinth. His administrative skills made Corinth one of the wealthiest city-states in Greece. Lastly, we come to Cylon of Sparta. He was believed to have been a Spartan politician to whom the militarization of Spartan society was attributed. According to Diogenes, Cylon helped to overthrow tyranny in the city-state of Sicyon, which later became an ally of Sparta. Cylon's entire philosophy is based on prudence, less is more. brevity is the soul of wit, and brevity is a way of philosophy, are at the Spartan attitude and way of life. He was a member of the Spartan Assembly and is credited as a leader in the development of the Peloponnesian League. These 7 philosophers have been deemed by the ancients as titular heads in establishing Greek thought and how Greeks viewed their world. This brings us to the end of the 7 sages of ancient Greece. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. Just a reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. For your convenience, we have also posted our email address and Instagram information. We enjoy hearing from our subscribers and encourage you to send us any questions or comments you may have. If you haven't subscribed to Traveler's Tales, please do. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Traveler's Tales will return with part 2 of the 7 sages of ancient Greece. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Kartistos.